Yes.
All right, welcome to the Pause at the Well space. Maria from Bloom, Angela from Grounded Dreamers. All right, the week of March 13th, 2023. So let's just pause for a moment and breathe. Oh, and just take in the air, the breath to oxygenate every cell. Just feel into grounding in this moment, grounding into the space. Release anything from the previous week. And let's move into the reading for today, for this week.
Okay.
Mm.
So, whew, our first card, and this goes in line with that, the energies that are actually in the universe now, with that big full moon we just had, and now it's a waning moon. And I pulled a card representing the waning moon, and it asks, "What do you need to release?"
Mm-hmm.
So this is just posing the question at first. This isn't like saying, let me shove everything out of my experience that I don't want. Let me cut things off. Let's just sitting with it
Mm-hmm.
and posing the question to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's a number of things that you'd like to release, choose one for now, right? So that we can kind of slow our focus and be with the energy that is present and work with that. The next card I got is 5, which is change. So there is a shift that you can create. You can create this shift, whatever it is, by focusing on what needs to be released, and then beginning to put into place the steps that can help you leave some of this behind. So to lighten your load so that you can proceed with better focus and clarity and not so much burden on you.
Mm.
Then I pulled the mountain. And this is kind of that bird's eye perspective. It's, once you get to the top of a mountain, you can see it all, right? And so this is just a reminder not to dial in too much to all the details. The rational mind can really take over, and then we get caught up in only the mind's guidance, right? And that we need to kind of breathe some more space into that.
Yeah.
The details will take care of themselves, but what is the bigger picture? What are you reaching for? What is that wider view, and how can you create space to move about it a little easier without having too much restricted focus on just the details, right? Widen that view, see the bigger picture. And then I pulled relationship change. So this is either as a result of you pulling into this bigger view and kind of figuring, for yourself, what is the one thing I can release now to move forward? That's a shift within you. That's a change in your relationship to your life, or your relationship to that progress, or even within you. Now, for some, this reading could be about a relationship that needs to change, an
Mm-hmm.
external one, something with someone else, or with a group of people, family, lovers, friends. Um, so, but after that bigger perspective of the mountain, you get to see where those shifts can happen in your relationships. Like I said, either with yourself or with others.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get to set off on our path. The fool loves to take that first step, even if it's off the side of a cliff, because he believes that he's supported, right? You've taken the steps to align your energy and see, if I let go of this one belief or reaction or mindset or person or situation, if I let go of this one thing, it creates space for me to take off and go down, head down my next path. And then, just in case we're not sure, of the timing, and I don't know if I'm ready, well, we are. I got go now. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not talking about changing the whole, layout and tapestry of your entire life. This is one little edge, one little thing that you can shift, and it will create change on the whole, in the greater part of your life. So we got go now. And then we have to remember, um, move forward, not from fear, but from love, right? Always. And the card I pulled is be generous with your love. And this on the back, it says, you are never going to be alone if you are generous with your love. What makes you happy is love coming out of you.
Mm,
And if you're generous with your love, you'll find the love in return.
mhm.
It's we think that we like when we fall in love or when we feel deep feelings for someone, we apply that energy of love to that person as if they're the ones that made us feel love,
Right.
right? But what happens when they behave in a cross way, or if they disappear, or
Mhm,
if they're not in your experience anymore, that doesn't mean you have less love, right?
mhm.
It was there all along. And it's the
Exactly.
love that's flowing out of you toward another that really is what's making you happy. It's that you've tapped into that source on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from that, be generous with your love. The next step we have is show the world the real you. Now there's some,
Mm,
you can show up and show out, right? It's kind of like, okay,
mm,
I am in the energy of love. I am love.
mhm,
So let me just um present myself as that. Let me just feel that and give it, and let others receive that part of me as well. That's where the movement comes. That's where the shift comes. And as you're releasing this old thing, whatever that is, it becomes less important than what you're going toward and
mhm,
the energy that you're using to go toward it with.
mhm,
And then toward the end here of the spread, I got you are sacred.
mm,
This is reminding you of all the sacred parts of you, body, mind, and spirit. These are
yeah,
all unique to you. They're all your, that they make up your divinity.
mhm,
And if you can kind of harness that within your energy and know it, that is, it boosts your confidence as you're moving away from something and toward the new. Remembering that, um, you know, shine your light, speak your truth, be your sacred self in the waking world. And then the final card I got is flowering. So with all this work that we've done, what do I release? What are my intentions? How do I move forward?
mhm,
Soon you start to see the fruits,
mhm.
of your efforts.
All those
And
seeds that have been planted.
beautiful manifestations come through.
Mhm,
And then, like we said, that one thing that you needed to release, it's becomes so much less important, even though
mhm,
when we were micro focusing on the details, we thought that was it. That was so important to hang on to,
mhm.
when no, there's more to discover, and there's more to be with. So
Yeah, so beautiful. I feel like it's a journey of really healing resentment, which came up in the group, right? I mean, anything could be that which whoever's listening to this feels called to release, but just what's coming to mind for me, given the conversation, was how powerful it can be to feel love for a person or for a situation as a state of I amness and not contingent upon, oh, that person is, um, you know, like behaving in a way that makes me love them or makes me not love them, right? Like letting go of those contingencies and just being with that feeling of love and offering that is so powerful. And just
mhm.
assuming, that love is present and coming from that place is so powerful
It's
as a
beautiful. And I
practice.
think it was Ram Dass who said, being in love, like, basically, to paraphrase, being in love has nothing to do with anyone else. It's
Mhm,
being in the energy of love, which is always there for you.
mhm.
And when you get to share that love with another, right, that's enhancing, and that makes you feel happy. But
Yeah.
being in love is not, you know, you're this way and now I love you and that's I'm in love. You already are, if you let it, you know, um, let it flow through and out from you. Yeah.
Mm. And not hold on to hurts, heal the hurts. It's not about just like, oh, I'm letting go of my hurts, but really being with and healing the hurt, healing the pain, and letting that be a catalyst for um, a greater capacity to express love. It's really a beautiful practice. So let's be with just a moment, pause and be with this, and just take a breath. I invite everyone to take a breath and just be with the question of what it is that you'd like to release. And then come from a place of love and offer that in the release. And really feel yourself in that experience. And so it is. And allow that flowering to happen from that love.
Allow it to come through.
Yeah, allow it to come through. So yeah, let's do the second part.
So the second half of the reading, I feel, is kind of for us as we're realizing the work or the shift in our energy that needs to come, that maybe we still encounter some blocks, right? And usually internally, maybe it's about an external situation, but the blocks always begin within us. And whoops, the first card I pulled is, sorry, judgment. And this is, I understand that everyone has their own unique paths and challenges, even me, right? I have challenges, but I don't need to make those the face of who I am, right? The challenges are there. How I respond to them is what makes up my character. And maybe you feel a little bit stuck. Maybe there is something you need to release. Maybe it's an actual person or an element of a relationship that needs to be released, and it's like you can't quite accomplish it. You make the effort, but it still feels like it's looming and like it's really holding you in place. And then we begin to turn criticism onto ourselves. Why can't I just do it? What's wrong? But that is not the path, right? This is reminding you that even that maybe the person in a relationship that you're having conflict with, they have their own unique set of challenges and their own, desire and ways of needing to be in this world. So it's finding, your own, what's best for you. And I'm not talking like in this selfish way, like, oh, I'm first and you're nothing. It's more, this is what's best for me. And if it doesn't align with what's best for you, then there needs to be we need to change shape here. We need to just smooth something over or, create some distance or whatever the solution is. But in that moment of self-judgment, we're called to find the blessings in your current situation. It's always the way out is gratitude. I think we talked about that a week or two ago, how it sounds very cliche, and I've said it before, but the gratitude and finding what is right and what is working and really focusing on that is the path to your joy. And
well, and even having gratitude for the things that aren't working right? Like for all of it, that
all of it.
It's happening for us to grow. Because it transforms the way we feel inside related to the challenge. It's like the
And it
love.
all starts there. Yeah, it starts inside always. Then the next card after that, find the blessings in your current situation. I got moment to moment. And this is that reminder.
It's my favorite card.
It's like, don't let your brain take you too far ahead.
Right.
And don't let your memory keep you clinging too far in the past. Be in this very moment. And like I like to say, keep your feet under you, right? Don't be, leaning forward to try to, get to that next thing that your mind is telling you is important. Be in this moment and be so fully rooted and grounded that what's happening, you'll miss things if you don't operate in this way. You'll miss signs or you'll miss new information that comes through to help you on your path. So staying in the moment and in your gratitude, right? That's the way that it flows forward. Then I pulled two cards that are guiding us, after this realization that if I stay in this moment, I will find my progress. Now you're in the moment. So now you have space with which to listen,
receive,
and stay open and receive.
Mm-hmm.
signs from the universe, or signs from within you, and being open and aware of that energy that's always there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
remember, we're also keeping our love on board and keeping that flowing through, and that helps us to, even in the hardest moments, it helps us to ease some of that anxiety and worry, like how am I going to get this done. It's
Yeah.
wait and listen for the signs, and they will come if you get quiet enough, and if you stay in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also got clear and shield your energy and nurture yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and those are like active things you can do for your body and for your spirit and for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Energy clearing and shielding, and making sure you have an energetic boundary that's cushioning you within your own space and what's right for you, not keeping people out, but making sure you're clear on where your own energy ends, and when it starts to merge into somebody else's, that's when you want to, like, kind of, I mean, it's not the bad thing to merge with other people's energy, but just make sure your limits and
Yeah,
your
to be
tolerance
in
level.
integrity with your own system. Hmm.
Keep it all in line. And then I pulled possibilities. So now this is that mountain view again.
Hmm.
So now, we had our little block of, oh, I can't get there fast enough, I'm not doing this right. So now it's asking us to retreat, find the blessings, stay in the moment, stay open, and take care of yourself. And now you're in a more aligned space where you
Hmm.
can see now, okay, what direction do I go in next? This is that mountain view again. I see the whole picture, and I'm cushioned here in my own energetic bubble, and I
Yeah.
can safely, right, proceed forward into the next thing I want to achieve, which brings us to breakthrough. This is
Hmm.
that moment when it's like, I did it, like I stopped and I listened, and I made sure that my full energy was intact, and then it came,
Hmm.
whatever it is, the idea, the thought, the person, the next move, whatever that it comes to you. And then
Hmm.
the final card here, it's a reminder to us. I pulled the outsider.
Yep.
This is that energy that, I need to get to that accomplishment. I need to get to the other side of that gate. And
Hmm.
this is a reminder that it's there. It's been
Hmm.
there all along,
Hmm.
right? If you're sitting over here worried about, the details and in your mind, you're going to miss it, but it's right there. And
It's actually
all,
not locked either.
yeah. And the little lock on the gate is open. So this
Mm-hmm.
little figure, he can go through by just open
Yeah.
the gate and take a
Yeah.
step.
Mm.
So it's a reminder that all that we want to achieve and experience and be and do and have is ours.
Hmm.
But our alignment, we have to be aligned right in order to reach it. But and take a little bit of risk, and take that step toward it, which sometimes can feel a little daunting, but
Yeah, well, I
got
think it
this.
does require risk. I mean, to change and release that which is familiar and go through these transformational steps does require risk. And that's why it's so important to stay connected in community with people that are going to support you through making transformational change, um, and not require you to be who they're, comfortable with you being, which may keep you small and keep you limited. And yeah. And also, I was thinking about the listening card that came through, and just how important it is to be conscious and aware of how we're listening. And, are we listening from a place of a clear space that allows for possibility, or are we listening from a place that's automatically assuming that we know the way a situation is going to be, or we know the way a person is, or all of our judgments or all of our criticisms of that way of being or that person or even ourselves, right? Like, so much power is in our listening, in what transformation happens or doesn't happen. So I just wanted to highlight that part too, right? To be aware of our listening and listening from a place of love as much as possible. And if love's not there, then notice that and be with that and bring in space and try as much as we can to realign with love. And that's where gratitude comes in as well, because it's all happening for us to grow. And it may sound counterintuitive. What, have gratitude for somebody who's treating me badly or a situation that's hurting me? But yes, have gratitude for it because it's allowing deep transformational work. And it allows us in the process of going through it to feel better. It
Yeah,
allows us to feel
you
better.
can't discover or know or go toward what you want without knowing what you don't want. And so in
Yeah,
these conflicts
exactly.
and in these areas that it feels like,
Mm.
this sucks. Well, okay. So we're gonna move away from that. This
Yeah,
sucks, and we're gonna, realize it fully, and then say, okay, that checks off the list. This is not something I want. Let's go toward what I want.
yeah,
It's
yeah. It allows us to distinguish,
yeah. But
right?
like you said, receiving that with love, that's to me, I always say, I feel like it's the fastest way to make
Yeah,
your progress. And it
yeah,
sounds counterintuitive because we want to just fight and wrestle with that thing, that unwanted thing.
yeah,
But no, let it be there and then love it. And then it will naturally fall away as you go toward those things that you do
yeah.
desire.
And love ourselves through how hard this process can feel sometimes. Like we're talking about this theoretically, but like when we're going through it, it can feel so painful and so difficult and like, oh my God, I'm never going to see the light of day again. And you will. And just know that and just remember that and allow the feelings and allow the grief and don't make too much meaning out of it. And then, the breakthrough happens. Really, it does. And so, yeah, it's a flowering, the card flowering that came through. It's all a flowering. So, well, thank you so much as usual. And I hope everyone has an amazing week. Set those intentions. All right, great.